Okay, whenever you're ready, Dashika.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Dashika Kidd, and I'm the program manager at Housing Resources, Inc., as well as the program manager for the Racine Financial Empowerment Center. I've been with Housing Resources about 5 years, and our mission at HRI is to prepare people for successful homeownership. We brought on a new initiative last year in December, which is the Racine Financial Empowerment Center. And we'll go over a presentation today on how the Financial Empowerment Center can help build a resiliency in the Racine community for our clients. So, thanks for having me. So are we going to go right into the presentation, or are we going to do introductions?
We can probably go right into the presentation, and then if you don't mind, or if you have a preference for questions and answers, either throughout the presentation or at the end, it's up to you.
Okay, great. So I have Xenia Jackson. She's our bilingual Financial Empowerment Center counselor, and she's here with me today. So I'll let her introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Xenia Jackson. As Dashika mentioned, I am the bilingual financial empowerment counselor here. I am a Racine born and bred. So I'm very excited to be part of this initiative. And I'm very happy that you guys are hosting us tonight.
Thank you, Xenia. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. It said host disabled participant screen sharing. So I think I need permission to share my screen here.
There we go, just did it.
Okay, sounds good. And I apologize for my voice today. I'm having allergy issues here. So.
No problem.
Okay, let's see here. Let's make sure we're on the right thing here. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll go ahead, try to move this out of the way here. So we'll go ahead and get started today. Thank you for inviting us to join your meeting today. I'm here to talk to you about how the Financial Empowerment Center can help you, your clients, your neighbors, and family members to obtain financial resiliency, like I mentioned before, and empower our city residents in that field. The Racine Financial Empowerment Center was made possible between the partnership with the City of Racine and Housing Resources, which was the chosen nonprofit organization to lead the initiative. So we're very excited to be able to share the information with you today. So we're going to go ahead and dive into what the Financial Empowerment Center is and how it can help you. And then I'll call on Xenia to kind of help me fill in where I need help, where she has the experience working one-on-one with the clients. Let's start by talking about finances. I know it's really hard to talk to people, especially people you don't really know about finances. Sometimes that's not really discussed outside of the house. And I know it can cause a lot of stresses in our lives with that. Thinking about our budget, thinking about our bills, our rent, when our credit cards are due, and just managing that day to day to try to make sure that we have more money than month left over.
The screen is blank.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I can see you, Dashika, but your screen, it's just a white screen, so I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get out and let me try to reshare again. Okay, let's go here. It would help if you can see what I'm seeing. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, now we see that it's a PowerPoint, yeah.
Okay, great. So we're on the second slide here. So again, just thinking about how money and finances impact our stress and our financial health, and how our mental health impact our money and our finances. So as I was mentioning before, talking about finances can be very stressful, especially with, a stranger, someone that you really don't know, and it's really not talked about outside of the home. So with the Financial Empowerment Center, we're going to help you be able to put together a plan to get you financial resiliency. So again, as I mentioned before, just, working with day-to-day bills, trying to manage when those bills are due, trying to manage the credit cards, and trying to take control of our finances is just stressful within itself. So with the Financial Empowerment Center, we'll be able to help you take control of those bills, be able to, like I said, put together a budget and a plan that's specific to your financial situation. So we'll continue with that. The Racine Financial Empowerment Center, again, will help you address anything finance related and help you to gather your budget to get your money in the right places. And then also is no cost to you. So there will never be a fee when you come in to meet with a financial counselor. Even to pull your credit report, we're not charging a fee. So what are the things that we can help you with? First is setting the budget, because it's very important to know what's coming in and what's actually going out. So we help you to actually track your expenses, you and your clients to track your expenses and determine what that number is that's left over at the end of the month. Because like I said before, we want to make sure that we have more money left in month. And sometimes, as we know, a lot of us are living paycheck to paycheck, and sometimes that money runs out. So really create that budget and getting it down on paper and tracking every month where your money is going and how to allocate that money. With that, that'll help you to start trying to pay off and gather your debts and prioritize those to see, what should be paid first. For example, if you have multiple credit cards and you come in and work with a financial counselor, they may give you homework for after your first appointment to say, okay, well, you have 5 credit cards. I want you to go and get the interest rates on all of 5 of those credit cards, and then your next appointment, bring back, that homework to me on what those interest rates are. And then we're going to set a plan together to attack those credit cards and attack the debt. That's also applies to predatory loans and different things. A lot of our clients are coming in and they're paying about 25% on predatory loans for an auto that is breaking down and they need to put money into every month to fix. So really collecting and identifying what those loans are and how those loans are affecting the client. To be able to purchase a home, which is, maybe a short-term or long-term goal. Working and improving the credit. Our counselors, as you'll see in the presentation, will go into more detail, but they're able to go over your credit report with you line by line to educate you on what's impacting your credit and really help you to move your credit to the next level. And that'll allow you to access more affordable loan products, for example, like that auto loan. So we'll work with someone that'll come in with a predatory loan. We'll help them to get their credit to where it needs to be. And then we would probably refer them over to one of our trusted partners where they can go and refinance and get an affordable loan under maybe 5%, which is really going to help their budget. Okay. And then increasing savings. So also looking at with that budget, identifying ways that they can connect to resources in the community that they may qualify for example, like energy assistance or food share, where we can actually look to save them money, where they can put that extra money aside towards paying down that debt or creating an emergency fund. And then also getting banked. There's a lot of Racine City residents that are using payday loan places, as well as being taken advantage of by predatory, loan lenders. So really connecting them to an affordable lender, an affordable bank where they can get products that are affordable, where they're not paying to keep their money in the bank. They don't have to have a certain amount in the savings account. Otherwise, they're accessed maintenance fees every month. So really connecting them to banks where they can get the services that they need at an affordable rate. Any questions so far? Nope. All right, let's keep it moving. Okay, and just wanted to mention again that the Racine FEC is totally free for City of Racine residents that's 18 years or older. We have about 25 local partners that we've partnered with in this initiative. So our counselors have been cross-trained with all of those partners, and we have a great relationship with them. And, you know, the Financial Empowerment Center wouldn't be successful without partners like you all being able to refer your staff and your clients over to us to make it successful. There's no income guidelines for the Financial Empowerment Center, so it doesn't matter your income, and your citizenship does not matter either. So, you know, if any clients are worried about, you know, well, I'm not a U.S. citizen, but I am a city resident, it doesn't matter. We're still going to be there to support them and work with them to build that financial resiliency. All right, again, just to mention, the sessions are 100% free. How our sessions are made up is we're tasked from the CFE funds, the City for Financial Empowerment, to achieve these outcomes. And some of the outcomes that we're tasked with achieving is reducing non-mortgage debt by at least 10%, increasing the credit score by at least 35 points. What else, Zenia? Accessing public benefits, and then also accessing a bank account. And then also I did decrease debt, increase savings.
Yep. Then we have removing delinquent accounts off of a credit report. That's a goal in itself.
Yeah, I think those are the main ones.
Yeah.
So just to recap, it's increasing your credit score by at least 35 points, reducing your non-mortgage debt by at least 10%, accessing a public benefit, and accessing a safe and affordable checking or savings account. And those outcomes are measured in our FECBOT system, which is a very sophisticated data management system that was handed to us that we use with that. So I want to, and then like it says on the slide, we want the clients to come in to have as many sessions as possible in order for them to achieve outcomes like increasing a credit score by 35 points or reducing non-mortgage debt by 10%. It's going to take a couple of sessions for them to be able to work towards that goal. So we've had clients coming in for like maybe 4 to 6 sessions where they've achieved multiple outcomes in all the different categories. So at this point, I want to ask Zenia to go ahead and chime in to kind of talk about the steps when they come into an initial appointment, how that first appointment is set up, and then how it works moving forward from there.
Okay. So typically our first appointment is the longest appointment. It takes about an hour to an hour and a half, and it's called the intake. The first thing we do is verify all of their demographic information. It's really important to have all of that stuff correct and accurate. Then once we do that, we go ahead and start the 2 different assessments that we need to do. The first one is directly related to the financial impact of COVID. The second one is the financial health assessment. That one, it asks more personal questions about a plethora of different things. And it gives us a better overall picture of where the client may stand financially. After that, I usually collect some goals because we have to put some goals in for our client. They don't have to be specific, and they could be long-term or short-term goals. And then typically we proceed to credit. We pull the Experian credit report and we go through it line by line. After we do all of that is typically when I assign next steps. So next steps are anything that we have identified together that needs to be done before our next appointment. Now it depends on each client because this is very client oriented. So it's not like a one box fits all for everyone or one plan fits every client. It's very specific for each person. So depending on the client's needs, we would meet either every time they get paid in the beginning to establish, because budgeting and getting acclimated to following a budget or establishing a budget can take some time. So in the beginning, typically we start with meeting with their pay periods. Others, if they don't need as much attention, if they already have a little bit, they're a little bit further, have a good start, then we would meet about once a month to make sure that they're reaching their goals, since it does take about 30 to 45 days to update the credit report once we have paid off an account or made some changes.
Thank you, Xenia. And then also the client may come in with one goal and they may say that, I want to pay down my debt. And then once they come in and go through the financial health assessment and COVID assessment, it's going to get them to thinking about other goals that they may not have had in mind. So for example, a lot of our clients are coming in and they're like, okay, well, yeah, I do. Do you want to own a home? Yes, I do want to own a home in the future. But right now, the way my finances and credit is, I didn't think that that would be possible for me. And then also, so it's kind of getting them to identify other goals that they may not have initially came into the, to the Financial Empowerment Center for. So great. Thank you. All right. And then like Xenia was just mentioning, the plan is catered to an individual's needs. So it's tailored directly to your needs with that one. And, what's maybe one goal for somebody else may not be a goal for another person. So it is really going to be tailored to you, and what the work that you and your client put into it is going to be the, what you get out of it. So we just want to make for sure that that it's totally one-on-one. It's not like going to a class and, going through several hours and getting handed a brochure. This is real work that the counselors are working with our city residents on. And then again, just saying that it's 100% confidential. A lot of our partners, frontline staff, came to the Financial Empowerment Center during our soft launch. So it's really important that you feel comfortable with referring people over, or, feel comfortable with yourself coming over as a client, meeting one-on-one. We want to assure you that it's 100% confidential. So some of the questions we may ask, some of the clients may be like, oh, well, I'm kind of scared to answer that question because is it going to be, sent back over to my employer? And it's absolutely not. So if we ask a question, in one of the assessments, are you happy with your job? They can be 100% honest that we're not going to translate that information or give any of their credit information over to their employer or anyone else. That's just confidential between you and the counselor, the clients and the counselor. Our FEC counselors, Xenia and Curtis, are trained and certified. They went through an extensive training in order to even become a financial counselor to be able to counsel. They achieved a certification, and they have to take continuing education at least 30 hours a year. In addition to doing that, they took a lot of other training. So all of our partners that I mentioned before, we did cross training with all of those partners so that we can learn about their products and services to be able to refer to them. And then they can learn more about the Financial Empowerment Center so that those referrals can be crossed. And so a couple of things to think about right now is, what are some of your short-term money goals? And then what are some of your long-term money goals? And when you're thinking about short-term, I would say that would be anywhere from a year to 2 years. What you want to achieve financially. And then if you're looking for long-term goals, that may be, 2 to 5 years or longer, depending on what that goal is. So I just like everybody to think about right now, what would be like a short-term goal that you have in mind, and what would be a long-term, and you can just blurt it out if you have any ideas on what that is.
So I've worked with Curtis, and my first goal was to get out of debt.
Okay.
I didn't have a ton of it, but enough.
Yeah.
And I definitely was doing the paycheck to paycheck thing. So I wanted that to be my first goal.
Awesome. Great. Thank you for that example. I'll share one of my short-term goals. So I work for a nonprofit, and I want to put the maximum into my IRA that is that's, that I can put in per year. So that's about $6,000 per year. So by the end of this year, I'm trying to beef up my deposits that I'm putting in there to be at least $500 a month so that I can cap myself out at that. So that's like one of my short-term goals that I'm working towards. And I've had a lot of experience in credit and budget and everything, and it's still hard for me to stick to a budget and follow it. So, we're all in the same boat here. And then can anyone give an example of one of their long-term financial goals?
So for me, really quick, being the counselor so that you guys don't feel judged or anything, this is a judgment-free space. My short-term goals is to pay down all of my medical collections. I have a lot of that. And then my long-term goal is to buy a house because I am not a homeowner, I am a renter.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. All right. And next we're going to go to what would it mean for you if you had good credit? So can someone tell me what would that mean for you? What would that look like for you to have good credit? Like what kind of space would that put you in?
Well, for me, I feel it would make things easier to access for myself. Like I own a home already. I kind of did everything backwards. I own a home already, but with where my credit is right now, if I needed a loan to do home improvements or, if something happened to my car, like I would have a really hard time getting those things.
Yeah.
So having good credit would mean easier access if in case of emergency stuff comes about.
Exactly. And being able to, get an affordable loan at a nice interest rate, or being able to get that rehab loan in order to, fix up your house is very, very important. And then also your credit is going to determine that interest rate and how much you're going to be paying over the life of the loan. So the higher the credit, the less money that you're going to be paying with that loan. So great. Yeah, it's going to allow you to access more affordable products. And then with credit, we're looking at the debt to income ratio. So your debt has to be in line also, as well as your credit. If you paid off and reduced debts, that would, relieve a lot of stress. If you're thinking about you have maxed out credit cards and you have to manage paying these credit cards, and, you may have minimum payments and you miss one payment and now you have a late charge. It's just really, you're driving your kids to school and you really can't focus and drop them off without thinking, okay, how am I going to get that late charge paid or something like that? And then what would it mean if you paid all your bills and had money left over? So I know that would relieve a lot of stress for me. If I had money left over, it would also allow me, for example, if I had a family of 4 and I wanted to take them to dinner once a month on a Friday night, with that money being left over, I may, have the opportunity to do that. And then if you had money saved for emergencies, you would have that cushion, and you would really feel like you had your finances together. That would be a great feeling for us to have. When it comes to money, we all need a little coaching. So like Xenia said, it's a judgment-free zone. It doesn't matter how much money you make, what title you have at work, what role you're in. We all are in the same boat when it comes to money, and we all need a little counseling, especially after COVID. There's a lot of people on a higher end scale with their salaries and business owners that's coming to the Financial Empowerment Center that never would have, thought they needed these services.
This is Irma. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I know you talked about the COVID situation and everything, and we are now heading in another direction when it comes to upscale pricing on everything. And yes, you were saying about how people who never thought they would be in this situation are coming to see how they can financially stabilize themselves. Because even like today, I was looking at something that talked about 2x4s are now $8 just for one plank.
Yes.
And how do those who are in that medium income now, okay, I know this is a mental health awareness thing too. And I'm like, if we or they or anybody with just a modest to almost modical income can't afford the everyday things, how are they going to function trying to cope with what's going on, especially those that's falling through the tracks right now because they don't really have that extra. They might have been getting by, but
Yes.
now they have no choice but to pay that extra.
Correct, correct. And that is an issue. I mean, that is an issue that we're seeing. And I really don't know how to answer that question. I think it's just, more coming in and working with the counselor on your budget. I think the budget is a great place to start because just tracking what we have coming in and what we have going out can kind of make us think about, okay, for me, I know I eat out at lunch all the time and I spend a lot of money on out to eat for lunch. So just, looking at how much you're spending and then tracking that. And then with the counselors, they'll also be able to connect you to resources in the community. So if you are low to moderate income, they may be able to help, clients to access food share or energy assistance or any other of those programs that we have out there available. To your point, the eviction moratorium is going to be ending. So now we're going to have a whole host of people that's going to be in another, financial situation where they're going to be, not have a place to stay. So it's just working with the city to try to get more resources, and then working with the counselors, they know about all the resources in the community that a lot of our clients may not know about. So working with them on the budget, working with them to connect them to resources, and then identifying ways that we can save. But it's a really tough question, and it's really tough out here for all of us.
Thanks. Yeah, because I have a whole slew of questions now.
Not a problem. So right now on the screen is our FEC team. So I'm the FEC program manager. And it was really important that the city of Racine picked a good nonprofit to work with to lead the initiative. At HRI, we're already a HUD certified organization. We already have homeownership counselors that's doing the intense work of helping prepare people for successful homeownership, helping them to clean up their credit, go over a budget, access grants, and connect them to lenders, realtors, basically whoever they would deal with in purchasing a home. We've had a 21-year relationship with the city, and we've always, completed our documents on time and showed that we have used the CDBG funding that we received in a way that is really helping the community and move the community forward with home ownership. So that's why HRI was the chosen organization, because we're kind of already doing the work at a higher scale. Vicky Selko is our FEC city manager, and she's really the leader in this initiative. It would not have been possible without her. She's amazing, and she works for Mayor Mason's office. And this initiative came about to really overcome the disparities within the city as far as homeownership, finances and everything. And then we have Curtis Shimshak, which is our FEC financial counselor. He is amazing. He has a lot of background in lending. So he knows like the lending world and the finance world. And he's very personable, and he has a great connection with his clients. And Nicole is one of his clients. So we love Curtis. And then also Xenia. Xenia is our bilingual financial counselor. So we are able to assist clients in Spanish, and she's doing an amazing job with that. Xenia, you want to give them a little bit about your background?
Sure. So immediately before I came on with the FEC, I was doing case management for about 4 years with older adults in a Medicare exclusive clinic. It wasn't too much financial. I did do a lot of connecting to resources though. And also the insurance portion does have a lot to do with financial as well. Prior to that, I do have some background in banking and finance, and also working with children and families in RUSD.
Great, thank you, Xenia. All right, on to the next slide. So like Xenia mentioned, at your first section is usually approximately around, I think that one is blocked out here. Let me see here. Oops. Sorry, can you still see my PowerPoint here?
Yes. Well, all of the slides are on the.
Oh, brother. Okay, let me try to, oh, brother, let me try to get this back together here. Let me stop sharing for a minute. I apologize.
Dashika, if you press the I think there's
Present.
like 4 squares at the bottom left-hand corner, it'll fix the layout.
4 squares at the bottom left corner. All right, I think we're there. Okay, so let me make sure I didn't miss any. Okay, so I think I have it together. Now let me share again. Can you see my screen?
No.
No,
Mm-mm,
okay.
just see you.
All right, let me get back in here and then let me share. And then let me go back here and share. Okay, are we good now? All right, so to recap what we just talked about, what would you get from the Racine Financial Empowerment Center? You're going to get financial advice from trained certified professional counselors that is continuing to, be there for you, coach you, support you, one-on-one confidential counseling tailored to you and your needs, no judgment-free zone. We're going to educate you, which is the biggest thing about your credit and what impacts your credit. So the counselors are going to go over the FICO score model with you, how your credit is impacted, how late payments affect your score, how maxed out credit cards and debt affect your score, how your debt to income ratio is looked at. So it's really going over that credit report line by line to make sure you understand. And then the counselor will, like I said, become your cheerleader and your coach. You can come to the Financial Empowerment Center as long and as many sessions as you want. And if you feel like, okay, I've achieved my goal that I wanted to achieve, then you can just let the counselor know that, okay, right now, I don't feel like I need to see you anymore. But for example, if 6 months to a year later, you feel that, okay, I have another goal or I have something else that I want to work with the Financial Empowerment Center on, you can definitely come back and become a client. We want you to come back as many times as you would like. Connecting to the resources and services, that's a big one in the community, because a lot of our clients come in and they're like, oh, I didn't know that program existed, or I didn't know that they had those services available. So really going through those financial assessments and COVID assessments to help identify what resources that the clients may qualify for, and then doing that soft handoff to connect them to that resource. Setting short and long-term goals and identifying those goals, breaking it down into small pieces. Going over a credit report can be very overwhelming and intimidating for a client, especially because we're educating them as well as helping them to put together a plan. So if they have, a lot of maxed out credit cards or a lot of collections, it can be overwhelming by somebody like, okay, this line here, here's another collection. So we try to break it down as easy as possible, and then break it down into bite-sized pieces, we like to call it, because okay, you may have 5 things that you need to work on, but if we send you home with homework to say, okay, you need to pay this, you need to do that, it can be overwhelming and you may want to walk away. So Xenia and Curtis is very good at working with you to break down what those barriers are, identify those barriers, and then put together a plan to work on them in bite-sized or small pieces. As many counseling appointments as you need, and they're all free. And then what you're going to get is, pride and excitement, and you're going to feel empowered, because once you're educated, no one can take that away from you. And once you know how to improve your credit, that's something that you can pass on down, to multi generations, and teach that to your children and grandchildren. So it's a great service that we're offering. A couple of testimonials. I'll read this one. It says, at first, I thought I was going to cry when talking about finances in my past, but after going through everything with my FEC counselor and laying it all out, I feel empowered and I know what I have to do. It does feel like a weight has been lifted. Thank you. And I believe that was one of Curtis's clients. Was that Xenia? Yeah. And that client had went through a messy divorce and never thought that they would see the light of day, and is now very successful in achieving multiple outcomes, within a short period of time. We launched on December 7th, so we're coming up to our 6 months, and we're almost at 100 clients, 100 city residents seen. And then I believe in the next slides, we have some of our details about our debt reduced and savings increased. So that's one of our testimonials. Here's another testimonial. It says, working with the Racine Financial Empowerment Center, my credit score has gone up almost 70 points. That was something I never thought I could accomplish. As a person who lives with a mental illness, finances can be overwhelming and a real challenge to tackle. Working with the Racine FEC has made the process easy to understand and the guidance invaluable. Thank you, Nicole. And that's from Nicole, who has seen success already and is achieving, outcomes within that short period of time. So thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The Racine Financial Empowerment Center so far has helped our clients save, so we have almost 100 clients, and within those 100 clients, we've helped them save about $61,300 within a short period of time. So we're very, very excited about that. I believe our debt reduced just hit over 50K, Zenia, is that correct? So we were the counselors were able to help reduce that amount of money in debt, and then also help increase about $61,000 in savings. A lot of that is actually helping the client going over a budget and identifying what's coming in and going out. So they're like, oh, I'm paying too much for this. Oh, that pack of cigarettes, I didn't know it was costing me that much per month. So really identifying where that money is coming in at. And then also with the stimulus payments and the tax returns, the clients are able to really work with a counselor to identify how to distribute those funds and what should be taken care of first. With that, so we're very excited about that. And then I believe this is the last slide to just get started today. So if you or your clients were interested in participating, again, the only requirement is that you are a City of Racine resident. So you have to live in the City of Racine, and you must be 18 years or older in order to schedule that appointment. And you can make an appointment online, which I'm going to show you in a few at racinefec.org. Or you can call our phone number, and we have a bilingual administrative assistant, Leticia Hernandez, who can complete the form for you or your client over the phone to get that appointment scheduled. So before I go into the our website, are there any questions? No? All right, so let me share my screen again and try to find my website here. Let's try this. All right, can you see the website here?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, great. So this is our website. It is www.racinefec.org. So if you have not checked it out, please go and check it out there. And to make an appointment, you would just go up here to where it says make an appointment. We're going to scroll down to the bottom and hit where it says schedule an appointment now.
And while that's loading really quick, all of this can be seen in Spanish as well. You just have to change the language in the initial, like on the website, right in the right-hand corner, right next to make an appointment. You can change it right there. So you can view the whole website in a different language.
Okay, so let me close that out. Let me go back here. Oh, here. Right here. So you can change the whole web page to Spanish or English right here where Xenia was mentioning. Okay, and then once you go into that, make an appointment, you're going to do schedule an appointment now, and a prospective client form is going to come up. And with that form as well, you can change that to English or Spanish on that. And then it's just basic information. So we're going to ask, the client's contact information, if they consent to receive reminders via text or email. If the session is going to be for individual or couple, we've had some couples that have come in together. So we want to make sure that their budgets and everything is combined together. The reason that you want to come in and see the financial counselor. And then how was you referred to us? So if we do the drop down here, these are a lot of our partners who we work with, so they can select one of those organizations, as well as one of the organizations here, which you should be listed here. Here you go, right here. So if it was your referral coming from you, they would just put your organization here, and then the name of the person referring them here. Put in the email if applicable. And then down here is the appointment preference. So they can select the language. They can select if they wanted to have the appointment in person, which we're not doing in person meetings right now. Everything is virtual. Or so they would either pick phone or video, and then submit that request button. And then once that is submitted, usually the counselors will give you a call back within 24 hours to schedule that initial intake appointment. And then just to go up on the website and show you some of our partners who we work with in the community. These are all partners that pretty much Xenia and Curtis have cross-trained with and learned about their products. And that's also supporting the FEC. So if you go through our website, you'll see we have some heavy hitters here, some big partners that has joined with us in this initiative. And you see we have you all here as well. So I will, just so you can see the rest, we have a lot of partners, and all of us working together is really going to make this a success for our community. We're tasked from the CFE fund to see at least 480 sessions per year. So that's 480 individual clients that we're working with to build financial resiliency. And then each counselor has to achieve at least 100 to 150 outcomes in order for us to reach our goals with the CFE fund. So with that, I'll stop and see if there are any questions.
Well, first of all, thank you so much to you and Xenia and to Nicole for sharing her story, and just again for sharing your website and reminding us of the partners that exist in the city and kind of the quiet engines that run everything together. So thank you.
Awesome. You're very welcome.
And I do want to add that this is an amazing program. From my personal experience with it, I jumped at the chance to sign up when they were doing the soft launch with some of the partner organizations. Like I said in my quote, finances have always been something that have been really difficult for me for a multitude of reasons, and my mental health being one of those. The other being a child of the 90s, my parents didn't talk about finances, like that was something kids weren't allowed to be a part of. So like there wasn't a lot of financial education in my household as well. So a lot of those things have compounded, but like Curtis has just been amazing, and it really truly is completely judgment free. Like there was so many times where I was so scared to admit some of the things that I'd been struggling with, but like he just put me at ease, and so it's been just an all in all amazing experience with everybody there that I've dealt with. So yeah, I can't sing the praises enough. And we definitely, like, anytime I run into somebody here that I think will benefit from this program, I'm always sure to let them know about it.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much. We appreciate that feedback. And, we were very lucky to get Curtis and Xenia. They're both, they didn't have a lot of counseling background. And they both came in, and they're doing an amazing job. It really shows because a lot of their clients are coming back for second and third and, fifth and sixth sessions. So they're
I'm on
really
my like 7th, I think.
so they're really connecting and they're really achieving these outcomes. And like I said, when they come in, they might be like, oh, okay, well, what is this about? And then come in for the second and third time. And now we're like, oh, okay, well, you increased your credit score by 35 points from the work that we did. And they're like, really? I didn't think that I can accomplish that. So it's really, you know, being there to support and cheer them on and let them know that you can do it. And just because you have, you know, poor credit right now, that can be reversed. All we have to do is educate you on it. And once you're educated, nobody can take that away from you.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
And one thing that's really encouraging, just so you guys know, is that we're going to take it at your pace. If you want to be aggressive and attack these goals right away and you want to own a home within, you know, X amount of days or months, we will, you know, take it at your pace. If you want to take it a little bit slower, one thing at a time, we can do that too. Everything is tailored to the individual client.
Great. Thank you, Xenia. Anything else?
No.
All right. Well,
All right.
thanks for having us, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and please be sure to refer your neighbors, your friends, you know, whoever you're talking to that, you know, you think may benefit from the program. It's totally free. The mayor, the counselors, Vicky, the HRI, we put a lot of work into launching this FEC. We're the smallest FEC out of the whole cohort, and we're the first in Wisconsin. So we really want to show that, you know, we are a smaller city, but we can still, you know, build financial resiliency just like the bigger cities are doing. And it's very important for the mayor. It's one of his goals that he set out to accomplish.
That's great. I'm glad we can be a part of helping you get the word out. And we really want to thank you for your time and being here tonight and sharing this all with us.
Great. Thank you. Well, you all have a great night.
Thank
You
you. And
too.
thanks
Thank
for
you,
being
guys.
here. We'll put the recording up in a day or two.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.